Hello and welcome to LFC Focus. So Liverpool have just lost 2-0 to Leicester at the King Power Stadium and have now been dumped out of the League Cup, or the Carabao Cup as it is now called, at the very first hurdle. And to be honest, you know, I could have put out the post-match video from the last game against Burnley or the one before against Sevilla, and I'm not sure anyone would have really noticed because that was just same rubbish, different day, really. I mean, in isolation, if you look at that game just on its own without taking into account anything else that's happened over the last few days and weeks, it's not the worst result in the world because, I mean, the League Cup, I'm not really that fussed about it, and it is pretty much well and truly Liverpool's absolute bottom priority so far this season. And I mean, if we were going to lose any game, I'd rather it be that one because, especially given that it's the first round, we might as well get dumped out right at the start rather than go all the way to the semi-finals or something like that, even though we're not really that interested in winning it. So not too heartbroken that we're out of the League Cup. And I mean, when you look at it as well, you could say Liverpool were unlucky going forward. They created a lot of chances, just couldn't finish them. The first goal is deflected. The second goal is an absolute worldie. It just wasn't Liverpool's night. But unfortunately, you cannot look at that result in isolation. You have to think about the games that have gone before it. And that's what tonight was about, really. It wasn't necessarily about just getting the win. It was about showing that we were getting over the problems that have cropped up in the last few games. The problems of going forward, not creating enough chances, and then getting bitten on the bum at the other end of the pitch. And sadly, it was just, like I said, same rubbish, different day. The exact same thing happened once again. And I mean, the first half was very, very good from Liverpool. Things started off very well. Phil Coutinho was excellent, pulling the strings in midfield. I think he justified why Jurgen Klopp had started him, because I think it was safe to say that Philippe Coutinho was started simply because Klopp wants him to get back to full fitness and full match sharpness as soon as possible. He showed during that first half that he's pretty much there, like I said, pulling the strings in midfield, controlling the match. He was an absolute nightmare for Leicester to control, streets ahead of his performance that he put in against Burnley. He really looks back on track. Andrew Robertson was fantastic as well. I mean, he might have even been our standout player in that first half. He was belting down that left wing. He was probably basically playing as a left winger, really. He didn't do that much defending in the first half, putting in brilliant crosses, getting into the box, creating chances, and all round looking absolutely great. So I mean, on the plus side, Andrew Robertson looks like he might, and I don't want to jinx it here, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but he might just be Liverpool's long-term left-back solution that they have been looking for so very long. So the first half really was a very good performance, and I mean, coming out of it and into the half-time break, I thought, you know what, that was pretty entertaining. For a League Cup game, I actually enjoyed that. That was quite fun. All we need now is to score a goal. And then we took off Phil Coutinho for the second half, which I could kind of understand because I thought, you know, he's in this to get match sharpness. He's clearly proved that he's got that now. There's no point risking him in the second half when he could get injured. We don't want to get him tired when there's an important Premier League game against Leicester coming up at the weekend. So I thought that's fairly justified. It's probably not going to affect how we play too much, but it really did. I mean, we were absolute poo in the second half. It got about 20 minutes in, say the 65th minute, and I thought to myself, you know what? I don't think we've even had a shot here. I don't think we've even tried to create a chance in the second half. It was just that bad. There was nothing going on. And lo and behold, typically, we got bitten on the bum at the other end, like I said, and Leicester went 1-0 up. I mean, the goal was pretty much identical to the one scored against Burnley. Once again, if you're looking for someone to blame, and with Liverpool, there always seems to be someone to blame with the goals we concede, it's probably Ranier Klavan again, because he tries to win an aerial duel. I'm not entirely sure who he's against. It might have been Islam Slimani or something like that, but he tries to win it. He doesn't win it. The knockdown gets one, and Shinji Okazaki has a fairly easy shot on goal. And I mean, if your centre-back can't win aerial duels and win headers in the box, what are they there for? What are they supposed to do if they can't even do that? One of the very basics of playing as a centre-back. And it's not the first time that it's happened to Ranier Klavan, so I'm just getting a bit bored of it, to be honest. It's just getting boring, and so is this endless cycle of Liverpool making so many chances going forward, looking for all the world like they're going to win the game at a canter, and then getting absolutely done at the other end. It happened once again, and I think there's maybe an argument again that Robertson could come a little bit tighter and close down Okazaki a little bit better, but Robertson should not have to atone for Ranier Klavan's mistakes at the end of the day. It's Klavan's job to win that header, and he doesn't do it. And I think maybe you could argue that Henderson should track back a little bit more, and and I think Liverpool do need someone who's a little bit more defensively minded and a little more defensively clever in that number 6 role, because Jordan Henderson, as good as he is in that role when Liverpool in possession, you know, dictating play from deep, he's not good enough to do it when we're off the ball and we need to do some defending. So there are issues there to be addressed. Personally, I think Emre Can is better in that role. We saw that last season when Jordan Henderson was injured. Emre Can played that number 6 and Liverpool defended a lot better because Emre Can's a little bit more used to dropping into almost a centre-back role because he's played in a back 3 before. So there is issues there. And then the second goal, really, for me, it comes down to the fact that Marco Grujic tries to close Islam Slimani down, but because he's already on a yellow card, he decides he can't stick a foot in. He can't get too close and just push Slimani over. So he lets Slimani run free, and it is just an absolute belter. I mean, to be fair, you can't really blame Danny Ward for either of the goals. He put in a fairly decent performance with whatever chances he had. He actually had a chance to save them during this game. He made a great save from Damari Gray that stopped it from going to 3-0 and being a complete and total embarrassment. So if you are to take positives from that game, I guess Danny Ward performed all right. It's just a shame that he probably isn't going to get many more chances for the rest of the season now that we're out of the League Cup. But all in all, really rubbish, to be honest. Just really, really rubbish. And the players' heads just absolutely dropped at 2-0, which was disappointing to see. Kind of understandable because, I mean, most of the hopes rested on the shoulders of a 17-year-old kid in Ben Woodburn, and that's never a good idea in a cup tie against a Premier League team. So you kind of knew we were doomed as soon as that second goal went in. It was pretty much sure that the tie was beyond us. But just the same problems, different day, and it's very disappointing for that reason because, like I said, you can't look at this result in isolation. You have to look at it in the context of where Liverpool have been in the season so far. And sadly, when we came into this game and thought, you know, we want to see Liverpool address the problems that they've had in the last few games, we haven't. Those problems are just still there. They're still causing us issues, and they're still causing us to lose games. So again, same rubbish, different day, and Liverpool need to sort it out very quickly, and they've got a very good opportunity to do it at the weekend because they're back against Leicester again, at the King Power again, in the Premier League this time. They've got a chance to show that they are better than what they were tonight and that they are on the right track to getting their form back. Obviously, Leicester are going to have Jamie Vardy in that game, so personally, a little bit terrified because I think if Leicester had had Jamie Vardy, they probably would have been out of sight much earlier on in that game because there are a lot of opportunities when they could have got a few goals on the counter-attack but just didn't have Vardy's pace. So quite worried for the weekend because of what's happened in the past, but you never know. Hopefully, Liverpool can prove that this is the last of this poor run we are on. But for now, absolutely rubbish result. Just a pain in the bum, to be honest. Getting a bit bored of it now, and hopefully we can sort it out soon. So that is all for today's video. Thank you guys very, very much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, I'm sure none of us enjoyed the result, but maybe you enjoyed my thoughts on the match. If you did enjoy it, give this video a like. If you're new around here as well, hit that subscribe button. Check out some of the other videos that have been out on the channel over the past few days as well. Follow at LFC Focus TV on Twitter as well, and I'll see you in a bit for all the pre-match content for the game against Leicester in the Premier League. Bye for now.